Well, hi everybody. This is Angelo Quinones and you reach Giant Ministries. Giant Ministries is designed to give you dependable and accurate answers that come straight from God's holy and inspired word, the Bible. And we're trying to not really tackle. I mean, it's just the Jehovah's Witnesses are child's play. Let's just face it, guys. Okay. I mean, they're very easy to deal with. They're not like an intricate cult like the Catholic Church or like the Mormon Church that has catechisms and priesthood manuals and all of this stuff. It's just that they have a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo articles that we can easily refute. I mean, so they're not they're not part of an intricate system. Okay, they don't have a system of theology. They just have a whole bunch of stuff that just splattered all over, pages throughout their running 140 years so on history. Okay, so very easy to deal with. Okay, all right. So I'm over here in the Philippines. I relocated from the United States of America, okay, to the Philippines. Okay, and so that's just it. Now, what they're gonna use, basically, okay, if I can get here, is Revelation chapter 3 and Hebrews, which is very easy to deal with Hebrews because I know exactly what the verse is. I mean, how you have to look at all four in Revelation. So I mean, let them do that. Um, so let's go to Hebrews chapter 1, okay, and verse 9, because that's the royal passage that they like to use, okay? So Hebrews 1 verse 9, okay, all right. Hebrews, they like to use verse 3, but hupadegma is not there in the text. Copy is not there in the text, guys. Hupadegma, okay? That's not there. It's not. So he was expressing, okay, the character of his father. What's the big deal? Okay? Is that clear? It says over here, you have, well, let's look at the whole sandwich though. I mean, the Jehovah's Witnesses don't like a healthy, well-balanced diet. They don't like the whole sandwich of, I call this the divine sandwich. A sandwich. I mean, a sandwich, you have two pieces of bread and some meat in the middle and stuff like that. But they just like the meat in the middle of the sandwich. They throw the two pieces of bread away, just like kids do. Okay, you know what I'm saying? They have to have the whole sandwich. You have loved righteousness and hated lawlessness. Therefore, and here it is, God, your God, has anointed you with the oil of gladness above your companions. Let me just say something about this companion stuff, okay? Well, first of all, doesn't this fit with chapter 2, okay, where it says in verse 14 something like this, okay? Hopefully this is the verse though, okay? That's it really means that the companions are not some celestial beings or anything like that. It's just his brethren. It says, therefore, okay, since the children, okay, share in flesh and blood, he himself, okay, likewise also partook of the same. Okay? Is that clear? And as a matter of fact, the Greek word, and let me look at the Greek word over here, okay? The Greek word, and this is just for free, I will tackle the my God business, okay? I mean, this idea that Jesus had a God according to creationhood, meaning that he was some sort of a creature, okay, of God. I mean, it's disgusting, though. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say energe poies and hante astan lagan anywhere. In the beginning, God created the logos. If it did, I would shut up, but it doesn't. So I'll keep on speaking and defending the doctrine, not Christ, but the doctrine of the deity of Christ. Okay, Philemon, Hebrews, and all of that. So let's check it out over here. And let's just poke the bear. It's easy to deal with the witnesses. It's kind of hilarious, actually, when you come down to it, Okay, so easy, so simple. It's like taking candy from a baby. As incidentally, my baby is right on the bed. Hi, hon. Hi, hon, my love. Say hi to the witnesses. Anna Devane is my daughter. You can see, some videos of her on my you know, on my channel. Okay, forgot your God of you, and that's so. Okay, with the oil of gladness above the, and this is the word I want here. Okay, let me see. Above the, okay, where's the word here? Okay, companions, there it goes. So it's the Greek word metachus. Okay, all right, and then the lexical form will be metachas. Okay, chas, actually, with I have a cold, so I can't pronounce the guttural too much because you do that with your throat, okay? Metachas, okay? Mu, and let me get the lexical spelling over here out there for you guys. Okay, mu, nowadays called me. Epsilon, tau, nowadays called tau. Omicron, nowadays called omicron with the acute marker chi, sometimes known as ki. Omicron, upsilon, nowadays called epsilon. And then final sigma, which is nowadays called sigma. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? Tagged with the number of index of... let me see, what's that? Okay, 3353. I'm using a magnifying glass, okay, you know what I'm saying? And it does have the word share in it, of the meaning, the semantic range of share. And say that to the witnesses. Okay, this is way off the topic, but you see? A share. You see? A share. Partner. Associate. Huh? You see? Doesn't mean celestial, above the celestial gods or above the celestial companions of angelhood. No. He partook of the nature. He shared in the nature of mankind. Hymatos, blood, and sex. Okay? That's just a deal. Now, so let's get rid of that idea. Okay, altogether, even before we get into the topic. Okay, all right. So, it does say, and let's stay with the Greek over here, it does say, okay, that he had a God. But he had a God after the incarnation. Okay, because of this, okay, these, okay, has, let me see, let me just get back here a little bit, okay, and have hated wickedness, it says over here. Because of this, has anointed, okay, all right, you, Greek word said, the paradigm, okay, ego, mu, no, actually, said is actually third person, that'll be su soi said, the paradigm, okay, su soi said is second person. And then it says over here, hateas, the article's not translated, okay, hateas, okay, hateas. And then let's go down here a little bit more. Hateas of you, and then su in a genitive case construction, genitive singular second person, as a second person singular in the genitive construction, su, sigma, omicron, upsilon. So it does say that he has a God, but you have to understand what it says before. Okay, you have to be careful with that, and I'm going to prove to you what that means. I'm going to prove to you that there's a difference between Jesus having a God and we having a God. Okay, and we having a Father and Jesus having a Father because of the mu, okay, humon, construction. Muhumon, okay? You understand what I'm saying? Not hamon. Okay, I'm going to look at that. Now, Hebrews 1:8, it says over here, okay? It says, pros, and that's unto, That's my baby, Anna Devane. I got the name from General Hospital, secret agent from the WSP. Robert Scorpio and Sean Donnelly. How about that? And that's a post positive. Okay. Tan Huian. He's the object of address there. That's an accusative singular masculine construction. Okay. And Huian is spelled out capital upsilon, nowadays called epsilon, iota with the acute. Does it have the acute marker? No, it doesn't have the acute marker. Actually, the rough breathing marker. And then the second syllable has the acute marker. It's like a hand on the clock pointing to 7 o'clock on a regular face clock. It's over the omicron, and so the emphasis of the syllable goes right there. The pronunciation. You understand what I mean? Huyas or Huian in this case. Okay, no pun intended. Tan Huian. Now lege is back in verse. He says is back in verse 7. You have to understand that. Tell the witnesses that he's still speaking all the way through. He's speaking in verse 7, verse 8, and verse 9, and verse 10, where he calls Jesus Jehovah, quoting Psalm 102 around verse 25, where it has the word, Yahweh or Jehovah. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? The Tetragrammaton 3068, 9 times in that psalm. Okay, and the Father calls Jesus God here, oh God, with special definiteness. I'll get into that. I get into that actually, and I'll get more into that. As you see the Hebrews 1:8 studies, on my channel there. Okay, I'm not gonna get into that now. But it says over here, hatranasu hapeas. What does that mean? Well, the emphasis. If there's any emphasis in Greek in word order, in this situation, there might be, because hatranas is first. Okay, so that probably is the subject of the sentence. I'm gonna say because the verb is not here. You're gonna have to supply that in your translation. So hatranas su, okay, the throne of thee, okay, O God, that the hatheos as a vocative, meaning as a direct address, is found like around 8 or 12 times in the New Testament. Okay, 63 times in the Greek Psalter, in the Greek Septuagint, the Psalms, including Psalm 45, where this is a quotation from. You have to take that into consideration. And then Jesus says, okay, oh God, to the Father. Okay, hatheos. It's the same thing. Jehovah's Witnesses have hatheos as oh God in verse 7 of chapter 10 of Hebrews. So why not put it here? It's not that God is a throne. That is a wrong translation. It doesn't even match. Okay, all right. Psalm 45 in the Hebrew and in the English, and in the Greek Septuagint has it in chapter, Psalm 44. Now, it doesn't need a hey in front of Elohim. It doesn't need an H or a hey to be vocative. Okay, in Hebrew, you can have the hey and then the Elohim, and you don't have to have the hey in front of Elohim. And Murray J. Harris's book, okay, Jesus is God, points that out very eloquently. Okay, so but you say, well, that's just an article. That's just an article, so that's the subject of the sentence, right? Well, not necessarily. Okay. The article has to be used because there's no special symbol for special definiteness in Greek. So the article, the masculine article, has to be used in this situation, because God is masculine, right? So if it was a feminine construction for in the noun, then you would use the hey. You would use a hey. You understand what I mean? So ha is used, so it doesn't really stand out like a inflectional particle like in Old Timothy. If you see a inflectional particle in 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 20 and Matthew chapter 15 verse 28, Manti points that out in his great manual grammar of the Greek New Testament, him along with Dana, that the inflectional particle is used in that situation because Old Timothy has to do with special force. God is not doing that here. He's not showing special force, okay, when the Son is concerned. Okay, he's addressing the Son with special definiteness, that he is God. It's just a special definiteness. It's not only definite, but special definiteness. You have special definiteness here, and then they want to complain. And how can Logos be a God if over here, okay, the Father with special definiteness is saying, "Oh God," to the Son, And then in your translation of the New World, whatever that is, the New World Translation, you know what I'm saying? Where is it though? Let me see if I can find it over here. New World Translation app. Okay. All right, that's the clock that I have debates with Jehovah's Witnesses over here. You know what I'm saying? They like to cheat, as a matter of fact, when they debate. Where is the New World Translation app, though? Where did I put it? Okay, because they have "Oh Lord," actually, that the Father is saying "Oh Lord" to Jesus, so they're actually helping out my cause and saying "Oh Lord." I can't find it though. King James. Oh, it's right here. It's right here. Very easy app to use. Okay, if you have an Android phone, use this app because it's so easy to use. Look at this. This is the only wonderful thing about it is the good translations. Okay, all right, and it's easy to use. I mean, it's simple to use. So Hebrews is right. Look how easy that is to use. Okay, chapter 1 is so stark. Chapter 1, and look at this. Look how easy this Jehovah's Witness app is to use. I mean, you know. Look at that, verse 6. It's right. It's just nothing, you know. You have to scroll, though. I mean, you know. Look at this. It says over here, and at the beginning, actually at the beginnings, in Greek, though, I believe. Oh, Lord. Look at that with special definiteness. Look at that. Point that out to the witnesses. The Father is still speaking. Let's prove that right over here. I know that I was going to tackle this my God business, okay? I understand that. Let's check this out here, okay? Once and forever. Okay? Let me see. It says over here, okay, kai pros men tous. It's supposed to be that in the Greek Septuagint in Genesis 1:1. Tous Uranus. But I don't know why it's ton uranon, you know, one heaven. But anyway. Okay, Angelus, he says, lege, okay? Is that clear? That he says right there, he says, lege, from the Lego paradigm. You know the deal, Lego, leges, lege, okay? Lambda, sometimes pronounced lambda. Lambda, epsilon, with the acute marker, so the emphasis of the syllabification is there, okay? Lege. Okay, lege, lambda, epsilon with the acute marker, gamma, nowadays called gamma, but anyway, epsilon, iota, and that's a diphthong. It could be pronounced A, nowadays called E, or pronounced E. Incidentally, diphthong is misspelled on page 20 in Mantis and Dana's manual, page 20 in Manual Greek Grammar, at least the first version one, maybe they cleaned that up, you know. Yeah, it's the greatest Greek manual I ever seen. Okay, he says lege. Okay, so just bring that over to verse 8. He says right here, so he says again. He keeps on saying. Okay, he doesn't stop speaking. And to the Son, do you need lege again? No. Do you need lege again in verse 9? Oh, well, the witnesses don't need it. Okay, they keep on saying that he says that he has a God. Okay, and so do you need it in verse 10? No. And it says over here, and Greek word chi, kappa, alpha, iota, u, su, capital sigma, by the way, su, is from the su, soy, se paradigm, like I said before. Okay, in is kat, and that's a sort of an abbreviation. Okay, it's really kata, but the next letter, okay, will be with a alpha. So they dropped off the alpha in kata, making it kat, and so you could say kat archas. That's in the plural, isn't it though? Is that in the plural? I don't know if that's in the plural though. Okay, it says beginning here. So this is a feminine word, so I guess let me see. Then it would be arche. That's feminine. It's feminine though. I think that's in the plural though. Let me check. I think that's in the plural though. Archas. Let me check that out. Let me see. Accusative. Look at that plural. It is in the plural. It is in the plural. Actually, beginnings. The beginnings. What are you going to do about that? Let me see this again. It says over here, and you in the beginnings, actually. Well, pick your choice. What beginning? The beginning of creation? You already have that. Okay, in verse 1, that he was there, and even before, in John 1:1. And now it says in the beginnings. How about that? So he created all the angelic hosts. If it's a beginnings, well, it ransacks all beginnings. Okay, so he was there creating everything. Panta. Okay, panta tiadu ageneta. You know what I'm saying? All right, fine. Now, so he calls him Lord. Now this is a quotation from Psalm 102 verse 25, and the Tetragrammaton is found there, and I have a study on this. Okay, 9 times in the Hebrew, it's found 2 times in verse 1, verse 12, and well, the other ones is just going to be 1 time. 2 times in verse 1, and everything else is just 1 time. 2 times in verse 1, then 1 time in verse 12, 15. I think 16, and then 18, 19, 21, and 22. And verse 24 has El there, okay, oh God. Okay, so he calls him, okay, oh Lord, here, that's part of the sandwich. Oh God, here, okay, all right, that's another part of the sandwich. And incidentally, the Jehovah's Witnesses, they like the meat only. Throw the 2 pieces of bread away, and they say, yeah, he has a God. Okay, I know he has a God. What's the big deal? He became man. Okay, kai ha lagas, okay, egeneto sarx. Okay, or sarx egeneto, whichever comes first in John 1:1. You understand what I'm saying? And actually, John 1:14. I'm sorry about that. 1:14. You understand what I'm saying? All right, now let's tackle this idea of him, having. What does that mean to have a God? Okay. First of all, let's see the difference. Let's see the difference. Okay, and between creatures having a God and the Son of God having a God, because there's a difference, and he brought out the difference. There is a difference. He didn't say Hamon. I go unto our Father Hamon, and to our God Hamon, meaning our. You understand what I'm saying? He doesn't say that. He doesn't. He could have. Why not? Why use all these two different Greek words? Could have used one Greek word, our Father, our God. What's the deal? Okay. Incidentally, I believe in 2 ascensions. I believe that he ascended there, okay, because I go, okay, and so let's check it out. Okay, so let me see. And then he came back. He didn't say touch me not. Actually, the New World Translation has a very good translation in verse 17. Okay, it's a continuous thing. He was being touched by Mary. There's no question about that, though. Okay, that's just it. Now, John, let me see, chapter 20. Okay, and then that's just it. It didn't do it. I hate when these apps, act a little bit, Okay, so it's right there, and let's just poke the bear. Let's poke the bear. It's delicious. Delicious. This is incredible stuff, though. Oh, man. I love this. My baby. It's my baby under the vein. All right, now this is the end of I think it's in the end of the verse, okay? I am, okay, ascending. Okay, I am ascending is over here. Okay, all right. Indicative, definitely indicative, and then say active. And is this a participle? Let's see. Present, indicative, active, though. Okay. So there's no there's no omega or anything like that to point out the participial construction, or So I am ascending to pros, and that's a proposition, one of like 17 small propositions in the Manual Grammar, the Greek New Testament by Manti, to the ton, okay, patera, that's in the accusative case, patera, okay, it's accusative case construction. You know the paradigm, pater, pateras or patras, and then patri, and then patera. You ever heard of Kim Patera, the wrestler? There you go. Look at I am ascending to the Father of me, mu, from the ego mu moi me paradigm. Okay, mu is the genitive singular construction. Okay, so of me. Okay, of me. Okay, so it says mu. It's a different Greek word than the upcoming Greek word. And Father, okay, kai patera, check this out, of you, humon. See how he differentiates the relationship? Listen, if you're saved, Christ is seeing you. I mean, the Father is seeing, well, Christ also, but the Father is seeing you, okay, as precious as he sees the Son, as righteous as he sees the Son. Okay? We're justified by the blood of Jesus, so we're co-heirs with Christ. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? Co-heirs. Now, but we have a God and a Father according to, meaning us creatures, according to elective choice, the elective choice of God, number one, okay, by salvation, okay, number two, and a couple of other things, okay, creation, number three, or you could say choice, number one, we were chosen in him before the foundation of the world. Creation, number two, we had to be created in one space, one moment, space, and time. And then salvation, we had to be redeemed. Okay, and that's just the deal. All right, now, but it says humon over here. It doesn't say hamon. Okay? Hemes, hamon, hemin, hemas, that paradigm, okay, of the second person personal pronoun from the plural part of the paradigm. That's not here. It says the Father of me, mu, and the Father of you, humon. Why not say, okay, the Father, our, hamon, patera, our Father, and hamon, theos. Okay? Or theon probably says over here. Let me see, is this the construction? Theon. Yeah, the accusative singular masculine construction. Incidentally, there is a feminine construction. I haven't seen the paradigm yet for the feminine. I saw a couple of different constructions in Acts chapter 19, verses 27 and 37, I believe. And so it has thea there and tain theon, actually. So I would believe maybe the paradigm will go something like this, thea, and then it'll be thea with the iota subscript, and then theon, and I believe maybe maybe theas or something like that, for the genitive. I have to figure that out, but that's the deal with that. So, listen, he has a God, and we have a God, but it's a different relationship. There's no... Listen, we don't have a relationship, or listen, Jesus doesn't have a relationship with his God like we have a relationship, exactly like we have a relationship with our God. It's the same God. Now, Jehovah's Witnesses will say, what, there's two gods? You have a relationship with your God and Jesus has a relationship with his God? No. But we have a different relationship. You understand what I'm saying? It's a different relationship. Okay? You understand? Let's point that out. Now, also, we can have a relationship with God according to servanthood. Okay? I'm going to point that out. Now, remember, they're going to point out Revelation chapter 3. Around 4 times it says that Jesus has a God there, so be careful with that. Okay? Just answer according to this right here. Okay? According to this. This will match one of the 4 situations that we have a God with God and Father. Okay? Because of this. Check this out. Now, let's go to this app over here. And let's go to Zechariah chapter 3, around verse 9 or verse 8. Okay? Zechariah. Okay, all right, Zechariah. Okay, let's see. Ezekiel. Zephaniah, and Zechariah. Hi, my love. That's my baby. I hope she behaves. My God. Okay, so I mean, it's hard to do a Bible study enough as it is. So let's just check it out. Okay, actually, that's chapter 3. Actually, chapter 3 and verse 9, though. Okay, let me see. Chapter 3 and verse 8, I believe. No, let's check it out. So Zechariah, it says over there, now, okay, listen, Joshua, it says over here, the high priest, you and your friends who are sitting in front of you, indeed they are men who are a symbol. For behold, I am going, okay, to bring in my shaven, the branch. Okay, you see? Now who's the branch? Christ. It's a prophecy of the branch. My servant. You see? So that really fits the T. That's the answer. That's the coup de grace for this argument of Jesus has a God. Well, he has a God because he serves God. Okay? Remember, we creatures, we have a God because we've been called before the foundation of the world, right? We've been elected, okay, according to Ephesians chapter 1, verse 4. We are creatures, okay, let us make man in our image and after, our likeness. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, all right. And so that's chapter 1, verse 26. Okay, na'aseh, let us make, that's in the plural in Hebrew, na'aseh, from the Hebrew word asa, which means to make. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? So, two things, elective choice, by election, just say by election. We have a God by election. We have a God by creation, meaning us creatures, not Jesus, but us creatures. And then we have salvation by, a God by salvation, because of salvation. So election, creation, salvation is the shuns, okay? And then servanthood. It breaks up the set, but anyway, no shun there, but servanthood. You see, that matches. That's the only thing that matches in the four, okay, that we're servants. But because of those three things, we're servants, but not because of those three things, Christ is a servant. Yes, Han, Himala. And then so that's a good answer for the JWs right there. Verse 8, Zechariah chapter 3, that Jesus has a God because he is a servant of God. Okay, he's the Son of God and he's the servant of God. There you go, right there. Two good answers. Now, so let's check out the Hebrew. Let's check out the Greek Septuagint. Okay, in Zechariah chapter 3, verse 8. I believe it coincides, and I have it right here. Thank God. Okay. Now it says over here in the third to last, okay, above 9, the third and second to last Greek words of verse 8. It says, okay, tan dulan mu. Now, well, those are four, the fourth to last verse and the third to last word, I should say, and the second to last word. It says tan dulan mu. What does that mean? Okay, the servant of me. Okay, all right. And it says anatalein. Okay. So, Dulan, the paradigm, I believe the paradigm is fully declined, okay? And so that's Doulos, Dulu, and if it's not, it'll be Dulu again. I need to look at the paradigm there, but Dulo maybe with a Yoda subscript. And then if it's not fully declined, like Jesus' name, it'll be Dulu. And then if it is fully declined, it'll be Dulo. But anyway, you could check out the paradigm. Maybe I could get that in another study. And then Mu. Okay? Tan, Dulan. Dulan is an accusative case construction. Accusative singular masculine construction. Okay? Mu. baby's coughing here, my love. Oh, you okay, my love? Hmm? Okay, my love, but you? Oh, my love. Okay, you scare me, huh? My love, my love. All right. Okay, so let me see over here. So that's okay. So the servant of me. So that's just say that in the Greek Septuagint, it says tandulan mu, the servant of me. Tandulan is in the accusative case, and then mu is in the genitive case, which can mean possession. It doesn't mean possession all the time. Okay, the genitive case is the case of limitation, but as the kind and thus description. All right, so let's check out this idea of Micah. Okay, but before we get to that, let's be well rounded and let's check out the Hebrew, okay, word for servant there. Okay, so Zechariah chapter 3, and this Hebrew app can be a pain in the proverbial neck, but we'll because it jumps. If you just touch it, I mean, it just like jumps all over the place. So let's check it out, and let's check out verse 7 because it says, "Thus saith the Lord." It's not Michael speaking here. He's speaking, but he's speaking for the Lord. Okay, it's not that Jesus is the archangel Michael and he's speaking because it's "Thus saith the Lord." Jesus never said "Thus saith the Lord" in the Gospels. That's a thing to remember. Thus says, okay, now let me poke the bear here. I don't like to do that with this app, okay. Says, Jehovah's Witnesses, they like to teach that God never said anything in the Old Testament. Really? Okay. Apen hape asto auto, and said, and God, and he'll probably said kai apen hape as auto, and God said to him, meaning to Adam or to Eve, and then it'll be out there, so te out there. It says over here, amar, okay, and you have the aleph, okay, with the comments. It looks like a little T, but it's just an A class. Don't let Hebrew spook you out, okay? Hebrew can be the easiest thing to read. Okay, once you get used to it and practice it day and night. Okay, I know it looks like hieroglyphics at first, but don't get scared. Don't get intimidated. It's the word I want to use. Okay, Aleph with the kamet, Mem with the patach, and then Resh, which is the R in Hebrew. It's just the opposite side R. Okay, where you see verb there and says. Remember that you read Hebrew from right to left, never from left to right unless you want to break up the syllables. And in Greek, you read from left to right, but then you could read a word, not read it like the whole thing, but just a word when you want to break up the construction of the verb. Okay, you don't really need to do that, but I mean, if you want to go from right to left to break up a Greek verb, to parse it, personal ending, connecting vowel, a person, future tense stem or whatever the case may be, and then the stem itself. I mean, you can go from right to left, but I mean, you read Hebrew from right to left, and Greek from left to right. Aleph, it looks like an X. It's not an X. It's a silent letter. It makes a sound. You have a sound when you're pronouncing, okay, the vowels. The vowel right here underneath it. Like in father. The T, little T looking thing is an A class. It's just like in father. It's an A, like in the word father. So you just say that's all. It's one of two silent letters in Hebrew. The other one is ayin. It looks like a Y, but it's not a Y. It's just a silent letter like this one. Okay, and then you have a mem. It's like a half a. It's right below the R in the word verb where it says, and then just think of that as like half a M. Okay, and then you'll be okay. That's the mem, M-E-M. That's the Hebrew M, like in Mary. Okay, like in the word Moshe, which means Moses. Okay, this is the first letter there, and then you have a patach, and that's an A class, but like in the word hat. There is a difference between A classes, the two A classes in biblical Hebrew. In modern Hebrew, there's no difference at all. It's just like in father in both situations. And they have the R. It looks like an R, but the other is pointing to the other side. It's pointing to the left side. instead of the right side, like it does in English. So it's just amar. Okay, amar. And the R is pronounced with your tongue toward the top of your mouth, to the top of your mouth. It's very hard to pronounce that resh, that R sound at the end of a Hebrew word. So, but that's not really the argument. We all know that he said that it says, "Thus saith the Lord," meaning that Michael is speaking for the Lord. He's not the Lord, and he's Michael, and he's speaking. Okay? No, it's not that he's speaking for the Lord. And the book of Jude is pointing that out. Okay? You see the Son of God, contending with the devil in chapter 4 of Matthew, chapter 4 of Luke, chapter 1 of Mark, and then that's just it, And probably, it's God cannot be tempted, so John doesn't even have that temptation there. Doesn't even have the temptation story, okay? Because John is the ego gospel, if you will, the ego gospel. All right, Matthew being the lion of the tribe of Judah, and gospel, and then Mark the servant gospel, and the Son of Man gospel, Luke. Now let's go to verse 8 though, and so let's see the construction there. Okay, I think I really skipped it over here. Let me see. I use a magnifying glass, so I'm kind of slow. I do the best I can. So this is 8 right here. So it says here, and that's the word shama, and that's the ayin that I was talking about in shama. Okay, shama means to listen, to obey, or to hear. Okay, all right. Now Joshua says, and Joshua is actually Yesu, actually in Greek. Jesus. Fellows, and it says in front, and you see, indeed, this is the verse though. Therefore, I am going, for I will bring, my servant, it says over here, my servant though. Let me see the Hebrew word for servant though. Ayin, Avdi, over there, Avdi, servant, Avdi, servant. Ayin with what happened over there? Let me see. My servant, okay. Ayin with the patach, so that's a, and then the bet, all right, with the schwa, so that's the first syllable, av, and then you have a dalet, with the dagger in the middle, the dagish, that's the second syllable, and the emphasis is on the second syllable, and then that's a D, that's a dalet in Hebrew, and then you have the yod acting like a vowel, all right, after that. So, Abdi, my servant. As a matter of fact, let me take a picture of that because it's so hard. This app is so hard there. Okay? All right, my servant. Now, let's check it out in the Greek Septuagint and let's look at the argument. Okay, all right. Yes, let's look at the argument. Now, because we already looked at it, but I just want to look at the word Jesus, though. Yesu. Here it is, right? Yesu, right there. The 1, 2. The third word after the number 8. Okay, akue. Okay, that's here. Akue. Akuo will be I here. Okay, akue. That's a second person, as a matter of fact. Akue, the epsilon is pointing that out. De, and then there's a post positive. And Yesu. Jesus. Yesu. That's actually Jesus, actually, in biblical Greek. Really, in modern Greek, doesn't have to do with Jesus here. It's just sort of what happened to the word Joshua. Okay. All right. Now let's go to Micah. And let's finish the deal. Now, what do? Well, they say, yeah, well, he. Now, you can actually use, Zechariah chapter 3, verse 8, to say, well, it's not that he has a God according to creaturehood, but according to servanthood. Use Zechariah, chapter 3, verse 8, and John, chapter 20, verse 17, and then you'll see what my God means, because it doesn't say enarche poiesen hate astan lagan anywhere, in the Bible. In the beginning, God created the Logos. I just don't see it, and don't give me Proverbs chapter 8, verse 22, because that's a feminine construction, kola, and the other words that has a hey attached to it, Kol means voice. Her voice is kola. I see that there around verse 1 or 2 of Proverbs chapter 8. So that's feminine. It has nothing to do with logos, which is a nominative singular masculine construction. And don't give me, well, other languages, word is feminine. So that's no, that's cheap, sleazy. All right. Now Zechariah chapter 3. But let's switch it to Micah, because this is what they're going to use. So let's end here, Micah, all right, Ezekiel, all right, and then that's just it. Micah's right here. Hi, hon, my love. She's being patient, my baby. Micah chapter 5. But before I read chapter 5, verse 4, I want to read Micah chapter 5 verse 2. I want to point two things out in this NASB app. Quote, but as for you, Bethlehem, which means house of bread, Ephrata, be careful when you go to, when you go to the holy city, there's two Bethlehems, Don't go to the wrong one. Too little, it says over here, too little to be among the clan or the princes of Judah. From you one will go forth for me to be ruler. Wait a minute, to be a beginning? We'll see. So the NIV has a very wonderful translation in Revelation chapter 3 verse 14, ruler. Arche means ruler also. To a ruler in Israel. His goings forth are from long ago, ancient of days, right? From the days of eternity, and that's just it. I'm almost finished here, my love. That's just it. So let's go to verse 4, because Jehovah's Witnesses like to say, Logos had a God. That's Mark from Missouri, he's a creature because he has a God. No, he has a God because he's the servant of God. That's what Zechariah chapter 3, verse 8 says. It says over here in verse 4, and he will arise. See, that's future. And he will arise and shepherd, it says over here, his flock in the strength of the Lord, in the majesty of the name of the Lord, his God. And they will remain, and on it goes. As it says over here, his God. But that's in the future. We form the future in English by the word will. What do they do in Greek? Well, let me show you. And you can use this argument for the witnesses. I mean, it's easily seen that this is for the future. This is a prophecy. His God, that means for the future of Micah. You understand what I mean? All right, let's go to Micah. That's a nice name, Micah. It has Yahweh in it there. What Micah? Wait for a second. Micah, Isaiah, Hosea. Micah. Where is Micah at? Probably over here, and as it goes. Micah chapter 5. Micah chapter 5 and verse 3, actually in the Greek Septuagint, though. So it took me time to find it. It says over here, kai stesetai, that's the word. Okay, he will stand. Okay, it says over here, kai stesetai kai apsetai. That means I think that's horao. Okay, that's the future for horao. The psi, I think, is pointing that out. That looks like see. He will see. Apsetai. Kai poi mane poem. Let me see. Actually, let me see. Let me see. Pamsane. Pamsane. No. Actually, no. That's not a psi. That's actually a iota. It looks like a psi there. Poi mane, and that means okay. He will shepherd. But that's a liquid future because of the mem, okay, or the mu, I should say. I was reading Hebrew. The mu nowadays called me. That's pointing out the future. Actually, there's no sigma in this word because this is a liquid future. Okay, remember your liquids. Okay, lambda, mu, nu, and then hro. Okay, so let's check out the words stesetai. Okay, and that'll be it for our study. The future tense stem here is sta. The alpha was lengthened to an eta. So it's stay. That means to stand. Okay? And then you have the S pointing out the future tense in this word. That's called the future tense formative. A tense formative. Okay? The tense formative is sigma because it's pointing the future. Why is that doing that? The sigma? Well, according to what I think, because of the meaning of the letter, the meaning of the letter means to synchronize. Okay, it has to do with time. Okay, so I think that's why the sigma is pointing out the future and in the future tenses, because it means to synchronize. It has to do with time. Anyway, ste, and then the sigma tense formative, and then the connecting vowel, epsilon. Okay, and then the personal ending is tai, which is the third person personal ending. So stesetai, he will stand. He will stand. And he will stand, and on it goes. And I think that that could be in the future tense, apsetai. The psi also is used for the future. Actually, the sigma is pressed together with the p and becomes psi, just like an s with a k becomes xi, and all of that delicious stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Pointing out the future, you can have psi, or sigma, or nothing at all. Okay. Actually, the sigma will be dropped in futures, but anyway, I think that will be the deal. Stesetai, he will. Oh, it's telling me in the future. It's not that he is, in the future of Mike, in the present time of Micah, that he has a God. No. That's telling me he will do this and he will do that. You understand what I mean? That's just answer Micah by the Greek and by the English. The word will is pointing out the future, and just point out that we just read, okay, the Bethlehem prophecy in verse 2. So he became the Son of God, after Bethlehem, during Bethlehem. And he had a God after Bethlehem, verse 2, not before. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? So that's just a deal. All right, so, what do we learn here in our study? Well, we learned that when it says that Jesus has a God, it doesn't mean that he was created. Okay? And let me point out John's gospel before I go. Jesus was not created. It doesn't say anarche, epoiesen hate as tan lagan. In other words, in the beginning God created the Logos. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say in the beginning God created the Word. It says in the beginning was the Word, meaning he always was. Okay? Anarche ein ha Logos. Okay? Hutos ein anarche prastantean. The same was in the beginning with God. That's pointing out that Theos also was in the beginning. That's just really what that's pointing out. Okay? You understand what I mean? It's not only that Logos was in the beginning. It says that in part A of chapter 1, verse 1. But you have to understand that who we now know as God the Father was with him in the most intimate, personal relationship possible. Okay, he was facing God. Now, he wasn't Jesus at the time. He's called, okay, all right, at that time, I hate to say time, because it wasn't even time. It was eternity. I hate to say eternity, because it was probably before that. Remember, he's the Father of eternity. Jesus is the Father of eternity. Okay, all right? That's just it. So anyway, that's what it means to have a God in Jesus's situation. This is Angelo Quinones giving glory to God the Father, to the Lord Jesus Christ, and in the Holy Spirit. God is not the God of the dead, but of the living, guys. Thank you. All right.